Okay, here we go, guys. Troy Casey, certified health nut, super psycho chicken of cyberspace, and we're here with Rocco Nugent, and we're at the Chapel of the Holy Cross is behind us. We're here in Sedona, Arizona, on this beveled mountain that catches all the vortex energy from Bell Rock that triangulates with Cathedral Rock. So, me and Rocco connected for the first time today in person, but we're definitely connected energetically. And we were doing the meet and greet at the house, and I was like, time out, let's film this. And so Rocco is the son of Ted Nugent, and we met online. He shared one of my videos, free speech videos, let's call it that, with the girls in the masks. And so anyhow, we were connected. He came to Sedona, and now he's here, and we're getting to know each other a little bit more. So Rocco, why don't you tell the Psycho Chickens where you got your fashion on fleek? Let's start there, baby.
Well, wait, I'll pause that. Psycho Chickens is what all of those audience attendees are referred to for your channel?
It's just what I call human beings, because we all have the sum total of greatness and the sum total of darkness in us, and we're all expressing it to whatever level we are in the present moment, always and forever.
Of course.
And so the more we can understand ourselves and others, you know, we can we can take ourselves a lot less seriously.
That's helpful for sure. The puffer jacket is by Lego, capsule collection by Target, and slides by Yeezy, hat by Burton, heart by Christ. And that's how I come adorned today. And yeah, man, I've been excited to connect with you because it feels like we might come from different portal entry points, but the mission is the same.
Cut from the same cloth.
Yep. And yeah, as it's been my mission and my dharma, is like finding ways to be of service while also being playful, while also having fun. And then as I've come more and more into integrating my kind of awakening journey into my family life, which, as we all know, that's where the integration really happens. You know,
big medicine is.
See how enlightened you are when you're around your family, is what they say. And take that to the next step and say, see how enlightened you are when you're around Ted. And yeah, man, so I've been feeling into the field of all the reference points of humans, and I saw your signature probably several times over the past few years. And then that mask video, I think my dad actually sent it to me, and I was like, oh yeah, no, that's that fucking guy. And I see a really potent kind of cross-pollination.
Here, I'm actually going to take off my shoes. Hold on.
Do that. A cross-pollination of the medicine kind of opportunity, where it's like, you know, conservative Bible Belt, middle America, baby boomers, they need access points into this new earth, Atlantean, Christos, Sophianic consciousness. Because it's not a spiritual hashtag, it's like it's the evolution of humanity and being more and more
spiritual hashtag.
Yeah.
Hashtag ascension symptoms.
Something I've been saying lately is like, what the fuck is spirituality? What are you even talking about? There's no such thing as spirituality. It's a spiritual experience first and foremost.
That's correct.
But for most people,
it's all spiritual, baby.
But for most people, spirituality is a concept because they're primarily identified as their human body mind. So what we were really building is bridges in content, bridges in material, and bridges in places where folks can, get on board. But it's really about getting in alignment with their true gnosis of self.
Ooh, I like that. And so I met one of your friends. You're here in Sedona with a handful of people.
Yep. Nolan close.
How many deep are you guys?
I think we're like Tree, Kenny, Rocco Bell. Okay, yeah, at least like seven or eight or something like that.
And I met one of your artist friends there, and so what are you guys incubating in your think tank, or like what do you guys all look like a bunch of colorful artists kind of bringing it. What's your main forte? Hi guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Can I say hi?
Yes.
Hi.
God bless everybody out in cyberspace. And you too.
Prerogative, name Prerogative.
Yeah, what are some of your creative projects? Your one homie I saw at the juice bar, you know, he definitely looked lit up on one level or another to get me into a conversation with him.
Yeah, man, he's a bright indigo. That's Nolan, and we're part of a kind of just group of friends that want to make art and make the most out of our lives at the same time. It's called Fun.
Can
The brand is called.
Really? Can I join your group?
I think you're already part of it.
Oh my God, that is so fun.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you guys doing? I mean, where are you guys posted up at?
Well, we got this Airbnb, and we're here to the 31st, and it's really about finishing the stuff that we already started.
But where do you normally live? And do you live in the same area, or are you guys friends from college, or what?
We're all spread out. I mean, actually a beautiful medicine ceremony type of situation that will brought us together. Was young brother's pops. Used to be a Christian pastor and was like building brands in the kind of Christian space, and then found some entheogenic awakening and was like, I need to convert my quote unquote
flock?
My flock, but also my drive into this kind of sector. And so he put together this retreat center that facilitated psilocybin journeys from corporate America. And
no shit.
they just did a write-up about him in the New York Times.
What's his name?
Craig Gross. And that's kind of the background of what's happening behind how the Fun group got together. But while Craig is doing other entrepreneurial stuff, it's kind of like, all right, well, how do we optimize all of our own, you know, genius expression, soul expression? We have our individual music and projects and albums, but it's like coming together.
Oh, you're like the Wu-Tang Clan.
I've basically been describing it as Nickelodeon Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you have fun, but stay organic, stay authentic, not be too forced, not be contrived, and
set a tone for the culture, for the society.
Yeah, without being preachy, without being too heady, but still just being.
It's a movement. Well, it's very Wu-Tang-esque. Big shout out to, you know, the RZA and the Wu-Tang, because that model, and they designed it in the beginning.
Man, the RZA's a huge primary mirror for me.
Well, big shout out to the RZA, that's for sure. And the ODB. So it can't be the Wu-Tang without the ODB. That's all there is to it. And RZA knew that, and everybody in the band knew that.
You watched that Hulu joint on the Wu-Tang?
I watched some of it, yeah, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good. And you know, the RZA and the Method Man, they're smart with their endeavors into the entertainment industry, and so I really give it up to them. All right, so you guys got this whole Fun group. You guys are out here kind of in an incubation stage, having fun.
Well, let me de-shoe with you.
Yeah, cool.
Taking all this?
Yep. There we are. Nothing like the frequency and vibration of the Holy Land.
Way better.
For you. And then we're at the Chapel of the Holy Cross. So we were just at that church. Sculpture right in to the earth. So this big beveled mountain here, and then we got Cathedral Rock, and then Bell Rock is over there. And there ain't nothing like walking barefoot on the Holy Land. Dressed in purple for all the tourists and spiritual seekers alike. We're having fun here in Sedona, Arizona.
So what do you want to touch on here?
Well, I want to hear more about your life, bro. You're the son of a major, huge rock star that turned into kind of, you know, his, I don't even know if it's political, but he's NRA, and I saw him fight PETA many years, and now, of course, with the global takeover, he's risen up a little bit. I know that you're into Kundalini. I know that you're your own man. I know that you got music. I know that you got friends, that you're doing creative stuff. You identify as an indigo or a crystal child, and, you know, I'm an indigo, and yeah, baby. I mean, it's just on. So tell people about you and you know, what's your mission, and, you know, kind of the games you're playing. I mean, my thing is to use pop culture. You know, sex sells isn't going to go away because the corporations know this and they use it in television advertising. So I'm just selling the natural lifestyle and our divinity right back to people, giving it back to them.
Yep.
You know, doing it like Gary Vee, just keep giving it away,
Yep.
and showing people fun, right, and enjoyment of life.
Yep.
And then, you know, I consider myself part of the Sedona Healing Collective, or I consider my house an Andy Warhol factory, a think tank. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's put it up on Twitter. Let's see what the people think. You know, oh, that's a good idea. Let's film it. Let's get it out there. Let's challenge people to 100 days of Qigong in front of Cathedral Rock. And now I'm getting 20,000 views a day on that video. So just real creative think tank, and then using the digital awesome world that we live in to hopefully subjugate AI and make that stuff work for us instead of us being enslaved by it, and then create a bunch of funny NFTs, pop the human consciousness, which is already being popped anyways from the neutrinos coming out of the central sun and raising the octave and the frequency and vibration of the people. And so really just singing the song home. That's it. Pied Piper of human liberation. And yeah, you are an honorary psycho chicken, and I'm sure you got a ton of interesting stuff to talk about. So
I'm writing a book called Moon Theory. So
Okay.
my awakening coalesced in.
go ahead, tell the story.
Go on.
I'll walk it behind you.
I brought layers because it was chilly earlier.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I grew up as this kid of this dude, and I'm like, all right, well, what did this dude figure out? But then I see a really clear kind of differentiation between, I started to kind of see the differences, like, okay, some people are empowered and some people are enlightened. And then there's like crossover in betweeners, but being super empowered and cocky and confident, there's this thing that seems like it's the ultimate factor, which is the ego. Like what you do with your ego seems to be.
And I learned that causes a lot of fights, and fights isn't peaceful, and you can't get on with your spiritual shit unless you kind of clean up your communication. Anyways, I just wanted to inject that because I got the fight of Ted Nugent inside of me too.
So I see his karmic structure. I start doing DMT and ayahuasca, and I had this really sincere calling in me to figure out karma. I needed to figure out what karma was, what soul momentum was. What the hell is a fucking karma? What is it? What is the ego? So I had a friend choose to manually depart, is how I describe it, in 2011. And you know, take your own life is kind of the epitomization of what depression can lead to. And that really jumbled me up because it was like, whoa, free will's as real as that, at least. And if Ted's doing this with his kind of abilities and essence, then what is the way that I'm meant to most utilize what I've been given? And then Archangel Michael shows up. I have a migraine, and he puts his sword to my forehead and basically kind of gave me a shit or get off the pot kind of transcendental paranormal experience that popped me into this lucidity of a non-physically based realm of material that's always happening. And this is what we call angels and demons and shamanic entheogenic experiences, you know, that they're from this place. And
So you saw beyond the veil. Are you stuck there? Can you see now in between both worlds?
yeah, I can transverse as needed to, but that took some time. I'm 31 now, and my pineal gland started kind of popping at 21 and led to a psychosis and led to, like, you know, how am I meant to integrate this? And I kept getting shown this mantra, miss out on nothing, and it was connected to the moon. And it's like, well, what does the moon have to do with any of this? And all I had at the point at 2011, 2012, I found Thoth, I found the Emerald Tablets. I had a deep connection with Yeshua.
You're not the only friend that found Thoth in the Emerald Tablets. Go ahead, please.
Yep. And Archangel Michael definitely made himself apparent as, like, I'm one of your primary guides. But I still didn't have, like, integrity or integration about all this. It felt very much like, am I losing my mind, or is this a spiritual awakening? Which I heard is a thing. And yeah, then I found a Raja Kriya yoga teacher, and I felt like it summarized everything that I wanted to have synthesized and integrated into understanding. And then it's basically made itself really clear that just like the moon, the ego does not create its own light, but it reflects the light. And our level of angular receptivity of our solar sun soul self, which is the Christ self, which is the Christos moving into material, Sophia, having knowledge and awareness of this, you have more kind of likelihood to be functional. So I was like, all right, cool, I can see. Now what do I do with being able to see? And leading kind of step by step by a couple different mentors. And
how many years ago was your big part of your awakening? And
man, it's been an integration. I'd say it kind of integrated into a like really livable waking state in 2017 when I got certified as this trauma therapist, somatic practitioner.
I love that work.
And that was like I'm holding people's skulls in my hand and, you know, holding these points, and literally the intention is to go into the most intense trauma of anybody's life and bring light there. And
yeah, I have a good practitioner here in Sedona.
Yeah.
And she's a Mayan priestess, and I filmed a somatic
psychotherapy session.
Psychotherapy session, and so my audience is familiar with that.
Beautiful.
Big time.
Yeah, so that was in 2017. I was working with this youth organization called Peace Guardians. We work with kids, and I kind of had to drop all of my ego's desires of like, I want to be more successful than my dad, and I want to do it on my terms. And I wanted to be an actor and make music, and I wanted it on my terms. And then in 2014, my nervous system shut down, and I got mononucleosis, Epstein-Barr, pulled my Achilles, popped a shoulder disc. It was like all this 1 year of stuff that made me say...
From the black mold?
You could say that it was potentially like a buildup from that, because I had very sensitive kind of hypersensitivity nervous system. But I think it was just unconscious eating. I think it was abuse of my body and not proper rest. And, you know, I'd pull 2 dares because I was super ambitious about like, oh, I make really good music when I'm super tired and sleep deprived. And it led to a crash. I crashed in 2014. Found a Chinese herbalist, and then January 2015 sat with ayahuasca for the first time.
But what year were you exposed to Stachybotrys?
Stachybotrys was in the house that I grew up in, which like they built it when I was born in 1990, and it was like, you know, Ted had a big successful career. This was the dream house. Literally, it was on MTV Cribs, and it was like a mansion, and it was like killing us. And my mom made a documentary about it called Killer House.
And that's coming out in February.
In February, yeah.
Awesome. Look out for that, guys, for sure.
Killer House. You can go to Rocco Nugent, and there's all kinds of info there.
So go ahead. So you're 2014.
So 2015 is where I meet the entheogens, and psilocybin was wonky at first. Had a nice ego death on the first time, and then ayahuasca was like, I wanted that experience before I knew that it was possible. I knew that there was this kind of jaguar, hummingbird, like temple that I was meant to find, and ayahuasca introduced me to that. And then I just wanted to be able to hold space. I wanted to be able to stay functional and conscious and integrated, and not have to go to some spiritual ego identity and to, you know, have some kind of social hierarchy experience. I just wanted to be functional, functionally Christic. Christic meaning Christ, Christ meaning conscious, conscious of the crystalline self that is prior to my mental identity. And then, you know, the somatic kind of teacher training met also with this Raja Kriya yoga teacher training. And I did a 500-hour, I think I'm about at 500 hours now. But I found this really funny jester-like yogi that I was just really magnetized to his framework. And
U.S. or India?
U.S. And then,
what's his name?
His name's Will Dupree.
I think I know a Will Dupree.
Man, he's the second human I met that carried this medicine they call Siddha. And Siddha, from my understanding, basically means perfected mind or perfected being. Hello. And in the back in the days, the Siddhas were the ones that would develop their siddhis and their powers, their psychic powers, so that they'd be able to, well, they can do whatever they want with it, but more and more in the village type setting, those folks would be the ones that people would go to and say, I have this issue, I have this problem, what do I do for it? What is the remedy for it? And the siddha practitioner basically becomes reflective and kind of like a mirror on a quantum level to like, well, what's most helpful? And then my yogic kind of initiation, the entheogenic initiation, and the somatic practitioner initiation kind of coalesced, and I started doing these mirror sessions. People started paying me for them, and I would just feel in my body things that they were feeling. And I started seeing really prominently, I had very particular guidance counsel that was always with me. Kuan Yin was like literally always with me. Archangel Michael, Yeshua Christos, Jesus, and Hanuman were like literally right next to me whenever I needed them. And I could call upon them and actually speak as them as if they were me. But I was like this channel, this prism for light to move through. And so amongst all the art and the music and the filmmaking, that's basically what holds me at a centeredness for my dharmic kind of pathway, while all the other fun stuff still gets to happen. And then last summer, I was like looking at Ted's stuff, and I was like, dude, this guy's I leaned into him last year. It was last April. He and I probably had the biggest like energetic alpha male testosterone, lava explosion volcano.
Knock down, drag him out.
Yeah, it was very dragon energy. And he was like, you got to get some kind of a real life, because at this point I was just, I'm a yogi. I don't need a house. I don't need a home. My home is my dharma, and I'm a grown-ass man. And yeah, it'd be nice to have some place to put your bones. And then I started staying at his ranch, and he's like, you can't fucking stay here. And I'm like, what is, I lean in, and he leaned in, and I am not the version of any type of person that he could have expected. And I think he sees a lot of the spiritual stuff as woo-woo, and probably doesn't look integrated, probably doesn't look super masculine. But I leaned in, stood my ground, and I think more and more we've had those over the years, and a level of respect has just continued to rise. Then I saw his,
But is he softened with age?
Yeah, for sure. And because of his body, man. His knees have,
How old is he now?
He's 73 as of December 13th.
Oh, wow.
So he's in a very interesting kind of chapter of his,
Have you sent him any of my Qigong videos?
Man, I would love for him to get some Qigong going. He's so resistant to doing stuff that's very particularly for physical wellness. It's like he's like, I do chores. That's enough. I get workout doing chores.
Yeah, what's coming to me right now is, I don't know if you have access to it or who owns the music, but one of those mix-ups with his music and binaural beats and then bass beats too, like a tribal slow.
Wow.
Like a tribal slow, and then some of those riffs. And you know how like DJ Z Trip and those guys mix all that rock and roll with the hip hop and the MF Doom.
Yeah,
like a lot, none of it's it's not licensed, because they'll do AC/DC and Led Zeppelin,
but the internet loves it.
But the internet loves it. So, but because it's your dad, I don't know what you could do, but we could do something like that and do the binaural beats and the bass beats, the tribal beats we can do it with the new ecstatic dance ideas that I have. So it would be a faster pace than Qigong, but you would be doing those movements at a faster pace with beats.
I do this practice that I don't know what else to call it, but I call it Shaolin Yoga. And it's basically fast kind of asana practice with Qigong pauses and Kumbhaka, like breath retention, but 2 beats, like trap beats, hip hop stuff. And it's pretty aggressive, because then you're knocking out push-ups, you're doing squats. And it's almost like,
that's dope.
It's almost like CrossFit energy. And then you add pistol squats if you can, and you're like just burning your chi up, but with like asana practice and kind of Tai Chi Qigong flow in the middle.
And so is it out there on the internet now? Have you done it?
No, I just share it with those that are nearby. And I share a good amount of stuff on the internet, but I like to diamondize it, crystallize it before it's shared too much. Right.
And so, well, good. It sounds like you're, up to really cool stuff. And so what happened with the rest of the awakening? Where are you and your pops at right now?
Man, we're at a beautiful mutual understanding. And I think because I came on board and started helping out with some of his businesses, and he was able to see like, oh shit, you're actually sharp cookie. And instead of just being like offspring, it's like team member. And,
right. And you're going to bring a new perspective, a fresh perspective.
Yeah, and
some of the dinosaurs' ways work, but you always got to give the new Padawans what innovation they may be bringing.
Yeah. So he's able to see that kind of new lineage of his offspring and have some mutual respect and appreciation. And more and more, I just keep seeing that guy as quite the living legend, and he's such a special being. He's got his quirks just like all of us, but he's a savant. He's basically an in-betweener. He's a shaman. He's like
totally.
What happens when that guy picks up a guitar and there's people in the room, man? Even if there's not people in the room, it's not normal. Time drops out.
Sweet poontang. Woo!
There's that part as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, and we're gonna make some other videos now.
Yes, sir.